from the scrimmage. Andy seemed really complimentary of the defense.
Yeah, just proud of them, especially from spring. We had some guys banged up that weren't able to go through spring ball. Getting our guys back, the guys that either have played a little before us, have gotten some reps, and so kind of just the growth we've taken from the end of spring through summer, the tackling, the pursuit, just the emphasis to play really good defense, completely void of even scheme, just the emphasis in regards to like getting the football, tackling, angles, has taken a big step, and our coaches have done a really good job. So obviously a lot to still clean up, and through really now 9 practices today, but excited where we're heading. We're going to have younger group in some spots, some guys have that have played, but they're playing hard, and that's the biggest thing we're looking for. They're playing smart, and so just got to keep growing.
I think people on the outside look at Alexander as like this underdog in some fairy tale story, and he doesn't see it that way in any way, shape, or form. How would you describe his personality, his mentality, and confidence?
Yeah, I think the thing you love about Tubes is the fact that he works like that, though. He works like he's the underdog, and even now that he's worked himself to be a good player for us, he still works with that same mentality when he was a walk-on and he was 4th or 5th on the depth chart. That's which is a lot of who we are at Boise State, right? It's that mentality, that blue collar where we're going to outwork people, and Alex Tubner really exemplifies that. And excited just the steps he's taken from spring ball through the summer, the different things either on the field, how he trains, taking care of his body, all the different things. So he's really stepped up in how he leads in that back end too, knowing what's supposed to be communicated, because we talk all the time. They got to set the umbrella. If they're wrong, it's going to be an explosive play that we can't give up. So just excited where he's kind of worked to, excited where he's working going into the future too.
What's Michael Callahan done this offseason? He's worked his way into kind of a starting spot, it looks like. So just what's the work he's put in been like, and what have you been impressed with him about?
Yeah, the awesome part about Mike, once again, it's not just him, but speaking about him, is he's been working his tail off for a lot of years, right? He's always been that maybe 2, maybe 3 on the depth chart, but he's been working. Maybe a guy gets banged up, and then he plays a lot in that game, and he's always one of the first ones here in the building, works his tail off, and it's been cool just to see him develop over the years here. And you talk about a guy that exemplifies Boise State, blue collar, tough, always has a smile on his face, and especially up front, they're fighting their tails off. It's not an easy position to play. We put a lot of stress on him, and it's been cool to see him develop. Coach Schneider's done a great job with him since he's been here. He's playing his best football since he's been on campus. So excited where Mike's going, and he's just that type of kid. Like I said, it's not about him. It's about the team. It's about the defense, and it shows up in how he plays.
This is his last year of eligibility, right? Or?
That's a great question. With some of the COVID years, I never really know. I think so.
What's that urgent? Do you feel like he has an extra sense of urgency? Knowing that it's now or never.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. Mike's always been that way. When he was a redshirt freshman, I was coaching D-line. He was the same way. The next year, he was the same way. So it's not, okay, now maybe this is my last year due to eligibility, that now all of a sudden I'm going to have to crank it up because this is my last year, this is all I got. He's always been like that. He's always been working when maybe even people didn't know who he was. In the dark, he was working, and now he's worked himself to where he's playing his best football.
What's it like trying to get ready through camp when you know the first game is maybe arguably against one of the best quarterbacks and some of the best pair of receivers in the country?
Yeah, for us in fall camp, it's all about us. It's iron sharpening iron, offense, defense. How can we grow together? Because we know what's waiting for us September 2nd. We know obviously the task that's going to be waiting for us in Seattle. But it's all about us, especially defensively. It doesn't matter who you play. If you can't communicate, play with great eye control, get to the football, make tackles, it doesn't matter. And so we're training our guys to be that way. Those are the habits we're creating right now. So through fall camp, we don't talk about it a lot. It's us growing into who we want to become. And obviously, with some of the guys we've lost in the offseason, these guys continue to step up from spring ball, and especially in fall camp, to who we're going to be in 2023, because that's who we are. And so, not a lot, obviously, everybody knows, and there'll be times, obviously, we've done some preseason opponent scout, we've been through different things, doing our due diligence, but we're focused on us. We want to be the most disciplined defense. We want to be a relentless defense. The things that we focus on, we're focused on that. And we know that game's waiting for us. We're going to get to them as we get into closer to the game time. But right now, we're focused on growing ourselves.
What can you tell us about the development of the defensive line so far?
Yeah, well, especially going in, Jay, at the end of last season, the amount of guys we've lost there, right? Either going to the NFL or not on the team. It was a huge position that we were just, okay, who are we going to be? Who's going to step up? Who do we need to bring in? And Coach Nander, Coach Av, done a great job at the front. Growing the guys we've had here and turning them into be really consistent players. Obviously still a long way to go, but a guy like Braxton Feely, last year, played a couple snaps on defense, got some reps on special teams. He's a true sophomore now, and he's playing really well. Herbert Gums, was banged up, wasn't able to go through spring balls, banged up. He had one of the better weeks of practice he's had since he's been here. So that's just to name two, but it's cool to see these guys that have been here, and just to see their growth and development, right? Not just all of a sudden now I'm going to play more, so I'm going to work harder. They've always done this, but now it's their shot, it's their time, and they've stepped up.
You could say it probably with any player or position group on the team, but how much really is that group going to be get them to Seattle and see what they can do after this offseason trying to get them up to speed?
Yeah, well, no question. I think just like anything, someone asks you, how are you guys going to be this year? I mean, the beautiful thing about what we do, we'll find out. There's not going to be any objectivity in regards to that. So that's why we're strictly focused on us. It's who are we going to be? What are the things we emphasize? We need to do it every single day. Because even on defense, a play goes really well for us, let's say in practice or in a scrimmage. It doesn't mean that everything went well. It could be an open receiver the quarterback didn't see because the pressure was coming, or vice versa. So I'm very focused on the fact of we got to be the best version of ourselves, which then creates the best version of all of us together. And September 2nd will take care of itself. The games after that will take care of itself. But because we know the test that's waiting for us here in a couple weeks. And obviously, the D-line is the tip of the spear. The first thing we talk about as a standard for playing defense here is stop the run. Obviously, that takes everybody. It's not just the D-line, but they're an integral part. And so their growth and development, especially with some young guys playing that haven't played a lot, has been huge. And they've done a really good job. Coach Sanders did a really good job.
You gave high praise to Marion McCoy at your first presser. What have you seen out of him the last 2 weeks? And I mean, is he in the mix right now to maybe be a starter?
Yeah, I think right now, speaking of the W's right there, you want to stand here when I answer it? No, I'm just playing with you. No, it's been cool to see. I mean, you talk about a guy that came in here mid-year from junior college. I think had a really good spring ball. Coach Demo's done a really good job growing him, his techniques. We put a lot on those corners, and I tell that group that we are pressed at the line of scrimmage all day long. We don't give any easy access throws. We're going to be up there. We want a quarterback to feel like there's no pre-snap which puts a lot of stress on those guys. Yeah. And so it's been cool for him to grow in his consistency through fall camp. I think leaving spring ball, we knew we could cover. We knew he could do a good job of that. He's a great kid to be around, works hard. Now him being able to play all the different situations, understanding, okay, now it's 3rd and 9. How can this be a little different? How can my technique change a little bit? So it's been cool to see him grow in that. And right now, obviously, everybody's competing, especially at the corner position. We got some good depth there, and so everyone's competing to work their tail off. And we're going to use all of them in different packages in different ways. And so he'll be ready.
What's when he got here, he was 157, and now he's somewhere between 172 and 177. How have you seen that change the way that it allows him to play? I guess.
Absolutely. Well, especially in this game, it's not you're a corner, just go cover, right? They will find a way, as they should, to put corners in the run fits. They'll create different formations where they have to be ready to tackle and make plays in the line of scrimmage. And so you have to build your body to be able to stand up for that. And it's been cool to see Coach Hilgard did a great job with him this offseason, and he's moving better than he's ever moved. The whole group is, especially even Noe Canillo. I mean, wasn't able to play through spring, was injured. He's had a great fall camp so far, strong. Obviously, we know he's a really savvy football player. He started a lot of games for us, but it's cool to see him kind of really step up and be able to do a lot for us. So both those guys, but I think guys that weren't able to do maybe a ton, Amarion just got here, it's been cool to kind of bring them into the mix and have them show up and be able to play really well for us.
New rule on the clock, more like the NFL where the clock runs on first downs other than the last couple of minutes. What have you noticed from the defensive side of the ball? How do you think it might affect the game?
Yeah, I think just in general, we've been looking into a lot of different views of it, and obviously there's going to be less snaps in a game. Not going to affect entirely, obviously, 2 minutes because the game clock's going to stop when it gets a first down. But just there's going to be less snaps. The thing we look at it is takeaways. They're always a big part of the game, but you create a takeaway on defense, there's already going to be less snaps. And we're still kind of looking to see exactly what that number might be. But takeaways are going to be a huge part of it. Any possessions you can steal, because there's not going to be as many snaps as there are prior to this clock rule. So all those things we're looking at it once again for us. We're focused on us. We're focused on making sure that we grow our fundamentals and techniques and how we play this game, and a lot of those things, especially for our players. Us as coaches are looking into it, but for our players, win the down you're in, and it'll take care of itself.
How often is Noe in the right spot? Everybody says a smart is out there. How often is he just doing what's right?
Consistently. I mean, and that's when I think of Noe, I think of a guy that I can trust. I think a guy's going to be consistent. Same. I don't come in the building wondering how Noe's going to be that morning, that day. You know what I'm saying? And as a defensive coordinator, that goes a long way. And I love that about him. You know he's gonna do his job. He's gonna know where he's supposed to line up. He's gonna know situation, how that could change. He's gonna know what we're trying to disguise, what we're trying to present, and he's gonna do it consistently. It's not gonna be one play, great job, Noe, one play, what in the world are you doing, right? He's consistent. And not perfect, but he's consistent. And that's something that, especially defensively, is huge. I told you guys all the time, that's the key to a good defense is consistency. Because you can have play great for 45 snaps, we play bad for 6, and everyone's wondering why we gave up, 42 points. And that's the part that he does a really good job of, very consistent.
What's the best attribute of Andrew Simpson?
Mm-hmm. It's been awesome to see Andrew grow these couple of years he's been here, man. It's from when he came in to where he is now. He's always been a very athletic young man, right? Always been very athletic. Has a lot of natural ability in regards to how he can blitz, how he can rush. But it's been awesome to see, DJ Schramm, Zeke Noah last year, obviously DJ now, really take him under his wing and what it takes to prep to be an every down linebacker. And he's done that. Obviously, he's still got a long way to go in regards to his growth, but he's playing at a high level right now. And very proud of him. And he can do a lot for us. He can make a lot of plays because of the ability he has. Now is doing it within the framework of the defense and doing his job. And he can do it at a high level. So it's been awesome to see his growth. Obviously, as a redshirt sophomore, there's still going to be things that we're excited for him to continue to grow in. But it's been awesome to see that his trajectory since he's been here.
As you get one more about that, as you get older, obviously your jumps, your gains aren't quite as big, and more fine-tuning things. Obviously, his brother played here. How much do you think he impacts what Noah's about?
I think absolutely. I mean, they're cut from the same cloth, and it was cool seeing a call out here at practice the other day, talking with Noe, just kind of, I'm not going to say coaching him up, but just talking football, because they're built the same way, right? They're extremely diligent, extremely disciplined, right? They're elite note takers. They always want to be the best version of themselves. And I'm not just trying to just throw praise out. I mean, that's who they are, and that's how they've always been since I've known both of them. They're different in their own right? They're not the same person, but they're similar in regards to their values. They're similar in how they approach football and how they approach life. And from that creates consistency. Because it's not all of a sudden I got to do something different because it's game week. They do that the same way when it's spring ball, practice 1, practice 2, practice 3, and that creates kind of who they are. And so I'm excited for Noah this year. We really are. And he's a guy that we're going to look to put in a lot of different places. And we're excited for that.
Hassani, new position. It feels like he knows the game of football much more than he ever has in the
100%.
past. I mean, it feels like he's going to pop this year. I mean, talk about the role that you expect him to have on this team.
Yeah, man. I mean, he's had a great offseason. He's done a great job with us training the conditioning coach. I mean, he's moving at a very high level. Now, just the offseason push for us with him was just, okay, he's very explosive, can rush, can set edges, playing defensive end for us. Now for him, it's, okay, how do I use my ability within the schemes now, okay? Because we put a lot on those guys as well. And so it's where my eye's supposed to be on this play. What's my alignment supposed to be on this play? Not just I want to go out there and play hard and physical and make a play. There's part of that with defense, right? But I got to do it within the scheme. Because if I don't, then I'm going to, maybe one play I'll make, but the other one I'm going to cost somebody. And so it's been cool to see him grow in that consistency. Now, where my eye's supposed to be? Where's my alignment? What's my initial footwork? And he's grown in that. And then obviously, the more he plays American football, he's going to grow in just understanding the game itself, and he has. He's had a great summer. He's having a good fall camp so far. Coach Frazier, Coach Ad doing a really good job with him, and he's growing, and we're obviously going to need him.
Where do you think you're most pleased with what you've seen on the defense through the first 2 weeks?
How relentless we are to get to the football. That would be the biggest thing that I am proud of, is that. Because that's where everything starts. Obviously, communication, eye control, in regards to the pre-snap keys and eyes. But when that's ball snapped, I mean, relentless pursuit eliminates explosive plays. And that is the habits, that's the mentality you have to play this game with. And that's been awesome to see. And once again, it's not me holding the standard, it's our players on the field holding the standard. So that's without question what I am most excited about.
2 more questions. Your fall camp, you obviously, every player's goal is to get better. How does DJ Schramm improve in year 47?
Oh, DJ's got a lot to improve on. once again, DJ Schramm, why he has worked himself to this point is because he walks in that meeting room and studies the same way he did when he was a freshman. That's DJ. DJ will take more notes in the meeting room than probably anybody because he's always trying to find that little one, maybe one nugget to create mastery, right? That's what he's all about, creating mastery. And so it's cool to see no matter what we're going through, we're probably going through something he's heard, I don't know, 15, 20 times maybe, still writing it down, still asking questions, because he knows there's going to be maybe one thing in there that I'm going to catch this time. And not only that, then what's he do? The rest of the guys in there that want to be like him at some point are looking, DJ's writing this down. What should I do? I should probably write this down now. And so he's bringing guys along with him. Not only that, when he's on the field, same thing. He doesn't need to say, hey, get to the football, communicate. Why? Because he's doing it. Right, he's leading the communication, he's leading the pursuit to the football, and so that brings other guys around with him, especially with losing a couple leaders in the offseason, which always happens in college football. He's done a great job not only leading by his actions, but also creating more leaders because they just got to look at him and be like, that's what it looks like. But he's always working to improve his game and bring it to another level. He's had a really good offseason, improving his movements, some of the different blitz and pass rush techniques we use with those guys. And so I'm excited for him. I think he's going to continue to grow and have a really good season.
Right now, the Boise State defense is really the only group that's gotten a good look at the intricacies of the Boise State offense so far. What stands out to you about what Hamden is bringing to the field this season?
I think Coach Hamden's done an awesome job. I think, not to obviously talk too much about him, but I think he understands the personnel we have here, and he does a great job putting them in great places. Could be from the tailbacks to the tight ends to receivers, obviously with TG, putting him in situations where he can be extremely successful. And he's built a great mentality for that group. They have a ton of confidence. They put a lot of stress on defenses, and he knows how to use his personnel. And he's a great guy to work with. He's great with the players. They look up to him. They respect him. He brings a lot of energy when he's on the field. So I think that's the biggest thing I see when I see him. He knows how to use his personnel, and he brings a lot of confidence to that offense, and they're going to be very explosive.
All right, thank you all.